to find a man who's like astrologically compatible with me because my sun sign is like princess, but then my moon sign is like whore.
Okay, so now the good guys are being called simps. Well, I guess I want a simp. I want someone who's honest and loyal, who has character, who's self-aware and centered. I want a simp. I want someone who knows how to treat women and actually like women. Sure, I want someone who's going to stand up for me, someone who's going to take accountability for his actions. Send him my way. I want a simp.
What is one thing your partner could have done that would have saved the entire relationship?
Maybe, learn how to not speak. Better.
Guys, imagine saying that your biggest difficulty in dating was finding someone who was astrologically compatible with you. I mean, these women will say some of the most ridiculous things, okay? Oh, I want a guy who's a simp. I want a guy who will stand up for me and take accountability for his actions and all this kind of crap, okay? And then you check out, her dating experience and who she's dated in the past. It'll be nothing but men who don't take accountability for the decisions. Right? They'll cheat on these women, they'll treat them like trash, and then blame the entire thing on the girl. Because that's what women do to men. Gentlemen, if you haven't noticed, you ever notice how when a woman cheats, right, when a woman has issues in a relationship, it'll be because, her emotional needs weren't being met, right? He needed to do more for the relationship, and this kind of stuff of, oh yeah, let's go to couples therapy. I want you to notice how it's all framed against the man. What could the man do better? Okay, here are my lists of demands from a man, but if you want to say anything in return, like if you guys want anything in return out of a relationship, that's called being disrespectful, right? You're insecure. You don't want your girl to go around sleeping with different dudes and have bedroom fun with different men. Oh, you're insecure. Right, we see all this stuff in society in modern day, guys, and women will want to sit here and pretend like they're the angels in this situation, and they always seem to attract bad guys, right? We've all heard that before, how these women will say, I don't seem to attract any good men. Where are the good men? I mean, take a look at that lady, and I think it was the second clip, right, who was saying that she wants a simp. Can someone send a simp my way? I mean, there's plenty of them, right? These girls who are saying, I need to date a good guy finally. I need to finally find a good man. There's lots of good men out there. Right? And if you want to, delay your relationship, having a good relationship with a man who cares about you because of his star sign, I mean, that's going to do is make you end up alone. But what is going on, guys? It is Taylor the Fiend back again with another response video. And on today's show, guys, we're going to be going through your Reddit stories as well as the TikToks that you guys sent into the show that we watched at the beginning. But before we crack in, gentlemen, if you're new here, you're liking the videos, make sure that you subscribe on your way in. And if you're interested in supporting the channel, make sure you check out the locals link in the description, guys. With code Fiendish, it is totally free for the first month on me, so make sure you go and check that out. But gentlemen, we are going to be continuing momentarily into today's first Reddit story. So again, thank you very much for sending these in, and we have some bangers for you boys today. Alrighty. Let's have a look at this first one. So this one is titled, My 24-year-old male girlfriend puts me in very unpredictable situations and it leaves me questioning our relationship. My girlfriend and I are currently doing a long-distance relationship because I go to school a few hours away from home. We still manage to see each other once every 2 weeks at least, or that's how it works. The weekend she came up to me because it was my birthday on Thursday. She took me out to drinks, dinner, and a movie, and we had a great day. The next day, I rented out an Airbnb in the woods, and it was so fun and romantic. Later on in the night, we returned back to my university and we went out. At some point in the night, we are caught in conversation with a couple of my friends and a few random guys. My girlfriend was conversing with one of the random guys, and the guy begins speaking about his height, saying he is much taller than he actually is. My girlfriend goes, "No way you're that tall," and stands literally an inch from his face, staring into his eyes for 40 seconds, not breaking eye contact. This guy is looking at her lips, and she remains standing right there. I'm a foot away from my girlfriend thinking, what the hell is going on? Then she backs away, and 2 minutes later, he begins flirting hard, saying with her, "I like your necklace, shoes, etc." And she's just saying thank you. I felt so little. thinking, why is she giving this guy the satisfaction and attention that he doesn't deserve? He clearly doesn't respect our relationship, and neither does she in that moment. Guys, we're going to be getting to the comments and how people have responded to this particular Reddit thread. But I just want to let you know something, okay? Women who say, oh, it was nothing and it was just a bit of fun and I do this kind of stuff all the time, it's just chatter, right? He's just a friend, or it's just banter. Guys, she's trying to convince you as though the actions that she just did right in front of your face are nothing. This is something that women will try and pull all the time, right? We've all heard it a million times, okay? Whether you've heard it in your own relationships or from other men, you'll hear this phrase of, he's just a friend, or this is totally normal for us, right? She'll be talking with some dude, flirting with some dude right in front of you, okay, and insist that it was just totally normal behavior. And something I want to point out is the fact that if you're a guy and you start to point out these things, what's going to happen is she's going to start to go, oh, well, you're controlling me. Right? You're a weirdo. That's unacceptable behavior. I thought you were on my side. How could you control me like that? Because anything that you do that tries to infringe on her ability to find new partners, if she wants to go and find new ones, she's going to get mad at you guys. I mean, women will do anything, absolutely anything, to try and keep their options open. I don't care if it's in a relationship that's gone for 5 years. I don't care if it's a relationship that's gone for 10 months. Okay, anything that harms her ability to find new dudes, if you try and shut that down, she'll lose her mind. This is one of the reasons why if you try and take social media away from a girl, it's like you're taking, certain kind of substances away from people. You know what I mean? People with addictions, because that's what it is. It's an addiction. It's an addiction to attention. It's an addiction to validation. And if you want to remove that, I mean, these people cannot survive without it. We're in an age right now in 2021, gentlemen, where it is glorified for you to just who has the worst life, right? Is basically what it's just a competition of, hey, oh, look how bad my life is, and then everyone just like gives them a round of applause and says, oh, you'll be okay, honey. Right? Oh, my boyfriend was so terrible and he treated me so poorly, and all the guys in the comments are like, oh, that's so terrible that happened to you. Right? And we're just completely not acknowledging the fact that these women are choosing their own situations. Okay, men don't choose these situations a lot of the time, gentlemen. You think that you're out there dating as a man and you're the one selecting your partners? No. Very rarely is that happening. And I would argue that those dudes who have a lot of options, you just have more women choosing you. Women are responsible for the decisions that they make in the dating market. Whenever I hear a girl saying, oh, this relationship really sucked, or I went through this terrible thing, and it's like, okay, one time I can understand, right? You go through a situation one time, it's terrible, you live and you learn and you move on. But these women out here who are saying, oh yeah, my last 3 relationships all really sucked, so now I'm working on myself. No, you're attracted to people who treat you poorly. People in relationships tend to repeat the same patterns, guys. And this goes for both men and women, right? Like, there tends to be patterns of the kinds of people that you'll surround yourself with, right? If you've always had a certain type of friend, the odds are that you're going to always continue to have that type of friend. If you're a woman and you want to talk about relationships, you're going to typically always have that kind of relationship. Now, this changes when women get older. They get to 30, 40, 50, whatever the case may be. And they start to realize, hey, I can't rely on my looks anymore. I'm not getting free crap here and there, right? I can't continue to do what I was doing and get access to the same type of dudes. So what I'm going to need to do is, quote unquote, settle. All right, a lot of these women who get into relationships in their 30s, part of the reason that they don't respect their partner is because oftentimes their partner's doing things that the woman doesn't deserve, right? Going out, taking her on dinner dates and all this kind of crap that she doesn't deserve. And doing all this random garbage. But the other thing is that the women think that they're actually entitled to more, right? They actually think that, oh, I finally got with a man in my 30s, right? But I'm settling. What about all those guys I got in my 20s? Why can't my husband be like him? Why can't my long-term partner be like that guy that I found in my 20s who was 6 foot plus and jacked? You see what I'm saying? And they think that they're entitled to more when they get into relationships after the fact. It doesn't matter, right, what they bring to the table, because at the end of the day, these women all think that they are the table, right? Because anything less than that to them is, oh, you're trying to harm my self-respect, right? You're trying to make me not respect myself, or you're doing me a disservice by saying that I'm not entitled to this quality of man. right? And this is something that you'll notice when you try and tell a woman that, hey, you know, if you try and get a woman to lower her standards and maybe go, hey, you know, maybe don't go and chase those dudes who are 6 foot and 6 figures and all this kind of crap. Maybe stop being so entitled and go for a guy, your more average type of man. Oh, she'll lose her mind, because what you're essentially saying to her, at least in her mind, is that, oh, you know, you're asking me to think less of myself, and that's harmful. Right? You'll get all these, oh, goodness me, man. You'll get all these dating coaches on YouTube, right, that sit there and they sell the idea to women that, hey, it's all about being confident, right? You want to attract a man who's powerful, a man who's great, a man who's something. Well, then that means you need to be powerful and great, and you need to be stern and do all these kinds of things in your relationships. And that's when, you know, that's what's going to make you desirable. If you go out there and you show the world what you want, and the women find out later that, hell, some of them don't even ever find out, let's be honest. But a lot of these women, they repulse men, guys. Because what they're going out here doing is they're acting like men, right? They're going out, they're being confrontational. Okay, they want to say that, oh, I'm driven and ambitious and all this kind of crap. It's like, how many times do you have to say the fact, right, that men don't give a crap about your career? Nobody cares that you've been working in the field for 20 years and you've established a position and like you're this successful. Like, that's not going to make you any more attractive to the average man. It's really not. But let's continue. The point is that she made me feel so uncomfortable and flirted with a guy right in front of my face. She put me in such an unpredictable situation. This was a minute of eye contact an inch away from each other's face. This man could have kissed her. So I shared how it bothered me, and she got very defensive, stating that she wasn't flirting, that she was intoxicated, and that she didn't think much of it. I simply told her that to me it is, that if I was an inch away from a girl's face, staring into her eyes for a minute straight, it wouldn't be cool. After a full day of thought and reflection, I realized that I do not deserve to ever feel this way. My girlfriend shouldn't want to feel validated by anybody but me, especially when I'm there. I can understand a bit more if I wasn't there. So I brought up the So I brought up the idea of ending the relationship with her. I told her we are grown-ups and these things are things that shouldn't happen in the first place. This isn't a high school relationship. She is begging for me to stay, but I don't know what to do. This isn't the first time she put me in a very uncomfortable situation. Gentlemen, notice how when you as a man, you're willing to walk away, women tend to fall in line real quick, right? And they tend to go, oh, I'll change my behavior, I'll fix my behavior. At that point, guys, it's too little too late, and you should walk away anyway. I don't care about these reconciliation talks and, oh, I'll change my behavior. I've done it in the past and I just did it to you again, but I promise I'll change. Guys, we're not getting in relationships with people, you know, hoping that they'll change and trying to change people. No, people will show you who they are eventually, guys. All you got to do is believe them and say, oh, okay, yeah, I'm out now. I'm not dealing with this anymore. And it's good that this guy recognized and he has some self-respect, right? And he wants to walk away from the situation. But guys, it doesn't matter if he was there or if he was not there. The girl's still doing the exact same, the exact same thing. Right, and I just really want to drive that home is the fact that if you're a guy and you show that you're willing to walk away, girls lose their minds, man. They really lose their minds. They're like, you guys ever seen children, right, where maybe a child's sitting there, right, and it's playing with a toy, but then on the other side it's got a different toy that it's not playing with. If you try and take the toy that the kid's no longer playing with, I want you to notice how the kid will lose its mind. Right, we've all seen that. It's like, oh, so what? I'm not playing with the toy. I want to keep both. Right? I want to have a boyfriend, but at the same time, I want to, entertain other men. But when my boyfriend leaves, I'm going to lose my mind over it and beg him to try and stay and all this crap. You see, women want to have their cake and eat it too. What they want to do is they want to be able to be in a relationship while at the same time go out there and prospect for new guys. And if you do anything to shut down that, her going out there to try and find new guys, you become the bad guy. If you don't become the bad guy immediately, what's going to happen is she's going to tell her friends and go, oh, my boyfriend said that what I did on the weekend was weird and it made me uncomfortable. And all of our girlfriends are going to sit there and go, oh, baby, you don't deserve to be controlled like that. He's so weird. That's so weird. He's just insecure. Right, he's just insecure and he's controlling. So you're going to start to get painted as the bad guy, and then the girl's going to use that as justification to cheat on you or do whatever the case may be down the line. A lot of these situations, gentlemen, there really is no salvaging them. right? You sit there and you deal with the situation. Okay, your girlfriend progressively does worse and worse things, right? You try and cut it off, and I'm not saying this will happen every time, but I mean, a lot of the times you'll just be perceived as the bad guy, right? Borderline every time you will be considered the bad guy. Okay, so let's continue, and this is actually the part that I really wanted to get into. Okay, I wanted to show you one particular comment that I read here, but before we continue on to the next Reddit article. So we're going to read down to the one particular comment I want to show you. But let's see what some people have to say. She likes the attention. Have you vocalized your issue with some of these situations before? If you have and it continues, that's a problem. If this is the first time you've communicated how these situations make you feel, give her a chance to respect your feelings before cutting it off. That's my opinion. Gentlemen, people know how to act. Okay, women know how to act and how to be. Right? They know that the action is wrong. They know what they're doing is, they know exactly what they're doing. Okay, they know how to act. All right, oh yeah, you didn't communicate it properly, so she's going to take the liberty of making you look like a damn fool and disrespecting you. But because you've never communicated it before, it's fine. This whole thing of, yeah, let's give the girl a chance to respect our feelings, right? Or how about we just, take the respect from the get-go, and if it's not there, then we're out. You know what I mean? It just makes no sense to me. Let's continue. I honestly think you are blowing this out of proportion and letting your jealousy get the best of you. Tell her how it makes you feel calmly and ask her not to do that stuff like that again because it makes you uncomfortable. If she does, then that's the issue. I personally like flirting with other guys while I'm out with my boyfriend because I like the attention, but I mostly like when my boyfriend steps in and whisks me away. Now, I can't scroll anymore, but what it says down here is, we all have little harmless kinks. Don't shame her or break up with her. Just tell her you're uncomfortable and hope she responds with respect. Yeah, guys, let's just place a boundary down, right? And what we're going to do is we're just going to hope that women respect the boundary. Right? We're just, yeah, okay. Ridiculous. Moving on to the next story. This one is titled, Getting Past My Girlfriend's Past. A 24-year-old male, and my girlfriend, who's 25, has had a much more detailed bedroom fun past than me. For context, I've been with around 2 women, including her, and she has been with around 18 guys. Gentlemen, when we talk about age differences, something I kind of want to highlight to you guys is the fact that women, let's just say you're a 20-year-old man, and you're with a 20-year-old woman, what's going to happen, especially in 2021, is she's going to have a lot more experience than you, right? Let me say that again. If you're a 20-year-old dude and you're with a 20-year-old woman, she is typically going to have far, far, far more experience than you. I mean, look at the ratio on this, right? So these two people he's 24, she's 25, with a ratio of 2 to 18, and that's not accounting for the fact that she's probably lying. Okay, that's literally, we're not even taking into account that women will lie about this count all the time. Okay, so what that means, guys, is especially if you're a man, this is why, one of the reasons why, if you're dating an older woman, this is such an issue. Because on even footing, on an even age, she still has a lot more experience than you, right? But if she's older than you, you can guarantee that she's going to have a lot more experience than you. You see what I'm getting at here, gentlemen? Let's continue on with the story. We have been dating for a year now. 4 months into our relationship, she told me how many people she has been with. I told her it was no big deal and it didn't bother me at all, but for about a week, it made me sick to my stomach to think about how many dudes have been having fun with her before me. At one point, she even went through who the guys were, and after that conversation, I remembered them and kept a list of them on my phone just to know who my competition was. Stupid, I know. Anyways, she is very hesitant to talk about her past, and sometimes she will lie and say she did not get with someone that she already told me that she has. I am not sure what to make of this. What you're supposed to make of this is that women will lie about their past. They'll say, oh, it doesn't matter, and you should just accept me for how I am. And this will be the same thing with body positivity, right? is like, it doesn't matter how I look, it doesn't matter how I act, it doesn't matter how many dudes have been in my past. What matters is that if you care about me, right, if you're a real man, then you're going to be here for me now. And that's the idea that'll be sold to you. But what you're supposed to get out of it is that she's probably lying to begin with. Okay? But let's keep going. Anyways, every so often it will pop into my head and drive me up a wall. I will do my best to not let her know that it bothers me, but I think sometimes it'll get me in a bad mood and I'll take it out on her. I hate that I do that. I realize that this is an insecurity of mine, but this is something I will eventually be able to just stop thinking about altogether. Is it? Excuse me. Too long didn't read. How can I get over my girlfriend's past without making her feel bad about it? And gentlemen, this one has a banger of a comment on it as well. You guys are... It's ridiculous. Okay, so let's read some of these. Do you know any of these guys? Do you see any of them regularly? Does she still have contact with any of them? We are from 2 different states, so I am not close with any of the guys. She has brought me to a wedding where I met 2 of them. Imagine, right, your girlfriend invites you out to a wedding, and there's 2 dudes there that you know have been with her. Jesus, man. Does she see them regularly? I hope not, but I can't be sure. She visits her hometown, where many of them live a couple of times a year. I know one of the times she went to a meal with some friends where one of them was at. It's ridiculous. Okay, situations like this are absolutely ridiculous, man, because not only is she probably lying about her account, but she'll probably regularly still see some of the dudes that she's been with. And I mean, this is true for a lot of relationships in 2021, where women will keep around dudes that they've been with. And I want you guys to really pay attention to the fact that that doesn't mean that all of these 18 men have been relationships, right? You see what I'm saying? So she's been with 18 dudes, and she probably hasn't even had 18 relationships. She probably still has feelings for quite a lot of these men. Probably a whole lot of them didn't want to commit to her. So she's going to keep them around and hope that one day a slot will open up and she's going to monkey branch on over to him. That's what women will do, guys. Like, men who reject them, the men who reject them will probably continue to see them and just kind of use them as their friends with benefits, right? They'll get with the girl and just say, okay, we're going to put her to the friends with benefits zone. I'm not going to commit to her. Right? But what she's going to do is she's going to continue to see those guys, and she might get with them every now and then for some bedroom fun, okay? But she's going to keep those guys open and there just in case the slot opens up. And what a lot of women will do is then they'll monkey branch on over to those men. So they might be in a relationship with you now, but they're still probably thinking about an ex or whatever the case may be. But let's have a look at some more comments, because these ones start to get pretty ridiculous. You know what? She chose you over all those other dudes. You have beat them, regardless of your own view. The only way you'll not compare is if you make her feel shame over her past or destroy your self-confidence over it. I'm a 6 out of 10, and everyone my partner has ever been with is a 3 million out of 10. It upsets me to think about. The best thing is not thinking about it. Resist the urge to look them up even if you already have. Obsessive thoughts are fed by behaviors that you think give you control or relief, like looking at the things that upset you, but every time you bring them into your brain, you make it worse. Think about problems you can solve. Don't think about things you can't change. Be the best partner you can. She'll still be with you in 50 years. Yeah, guys, right? If your girl has a notch count of 18, don't worry, you're going to be boyfriend number 19 who finally makes it work. You're going to be man number 19 who finally makes it work. Right? Look at this. As long as you're being the best partner you can, she'll still be with you in 50 years. What are the kids calling that nowadays, gentlemen? Copium, I believe that one's called. But let's continue onwards, because this will probably be the best comment of the entire video, guys. Okay, so brace yourselves. Here we go. This is from Agua Viva Adam. Okay. I think you need to try and separate your idea of a woman's value being connected to her bedroom fun history. It's the M word, and it's degrading. If your male friend had been with 17 other people than his girlfriend, and she had bedroom fun with one other, you probably wouldn't even bat an eye. She is an adult and has chosen to be with you. Don't take your insecurities and your fragile masculinity out on her and try to see women as total equals, not another species. Yeah, guys, if you view a woman with a high notch count and you go, hey, I'm not interested in committing to that, or if you start to have doubts about your relationship because she's been with 17, 18, probably more men before you, then what that makes you is it makes you insecure. right? I mean, look at this. She is an adult and has chosen to be with you. Don't take your insecurities and fragile masculinity out on her and try to see women as total equals, not another species. And I also want to highlight the fact that, okay, so this comment here, right, has 9 upvotes. This one has 3. This one has 8. Guess how many this has, gentlemen? 37. 37 upvotes for the most ridiculous comment on the post. And this is why, this is a prime example of why, if you're trying to get relationship dating advice, you do not go to women, guys. I'm telling you, you absolutely do not. You will have better luck writing down your list of options, rolling a dice, and then picking the option of whatever the dice roll lands on. You see? Like, or just flip a coin and decide whether or not you're going to do something, because that's going to, if you read stuff like this is the advice that you're going to get from society. Right, you know, hey, don't be insecure, right? Don't take the facts of her situation as anything substantial, and instead sit there and try and be the best partner that you can be so that she'll be with you in 50 years' time. I mean, gentlemen, if that's not poor advice, I don't know what is. But guys, we're going to be cracking into the last 2 probably Reddit stories of today's episode. Make sure you subscribe and leave your thoughts as we go through, gentlemen, and let's see what this one has to say. Again, thank you guys for submitting these in to the show as well. So this one is, my girlfriend of 2.5 years had a one-night stand. We have an apartment and a dog together. Throwaway account. I don't want people to know who I know in real life to know about this necessarily. This is kind of a rant. I apologize for the wall of text and would appreciate any response. I am 22 and she is 21, and the guy that she got with is 21. My girlfriend went to another city 2 months ago as part of an internship. She was very excited about it, and I was supportive of the decision since it will help her long-term career goals. Since she has been there, she has been talking to me less. We video chat maybe once every few days. About 3 weeks ago, she told me that she was struggling and sad all of the time. She also said that she had some issues with our relationship, and we talked about them at length. I agreed to work on them. This is something that whenever I read, gentlemen, I just I have an internal sigh every time I read this, because men are too willing to accept the fact that any issue in the relationship is a result of your actions. You see? Like, men are so easily fed this idea that, hey, it's always you that's wrong in the relationship, right, guys? It's always the man. It's always, you need to step up here. You need to work on some stuff. This is why marriage counseling, marriage therapy, whatever you want to call it, right, where you two go, or a relationship counseling where you two go and you talk to a therapist or whatever their title is such a poor idea for men, because everything gets laid at your feet, right? What ends up happening is you go, you talk about it at length, and then you have to agree to work on them. Right, and this is for dudes who, for men who go to these sorts of things hoping to get something out of it. Like, maybe you feel like the bedroom fun is missing from the relationship and stuff like that. What's going to happen is you're going to go there, you're going to voice all of your concerns, and then all of these to-do lists are going to be laid at your feet as a man to do, and you're not going to get anything out of it. You're going to be encouraged to put more effort into the relationship while she won't have to do anything, guys. But anyway, let's continue with this. One of them was not talking enough, which she agrees we shared the blame on. We then talked about our long-term relationship goals, where I admitted that I planned on proposing but couldn't due to financial reasons. We had talked about marriage before, and she was always into it and had mentioned on several occasions that she's waiting for me to propose. Since our discussion, I made the effort to text her more and asked to do video calls and phone calls. She has not been very responsive, and I thought she might be busy with her new friends and the internship, so I let it go. Wow, would you look at that, right? As the man invests more, the woman pulls away more. I want you guys to think back to the second TikTok we played, right, where the lady was like, oh yeah, I want a simp, right? I want a man who does these things for me, stands up for me, you know, and women will say, I want a guy who talks to me and shows me that he cares, right? But let's look at the actions here, okay? He input more effort, and what does he get out in return? Oh, she's not very responsive anymore. She withdraws. Okay, and this is what women will do. They'll say they want one thing, you go out and you do it, and then they withdraw. It's literally happens the same thing every time. Today, she video calls me, and after 10 minutes or so of our normal conversation topics, she says that she needs to tell me something. She then tells me that 2 weeks ago, she had a intoxicated one-night stand with one of her male friends. She was crying as she told me and repeatedly apologized. She said that she only waited to tell me because I started having troubling symptoms of the C word the same night that she did it. I was tested 3 days before, so she knew that I had it. I have asthma and nearly had to go to the H word because of my low blood oxygen saturation. She says that she told me today because it's the first day I have started to feel better. Coincidentally, I am starting therapy tomorrow, virtual visits, and will be talking to them about this as well. The therapy is for anxiety, not sure if that matters. If we were to break up, she would get our beloved dog as she adopted her. I have been taking sole care of her for the last few months while she was away. I have always paid for her food. Now I don't know what to do. Any help is appreciated. Gentlemen, we're going to be kind of ending the show here on some final thoughts. I want you guys to leave what you think about these particular situations, okay? And one very common theme is that you'll see the idea that men have to invest more. It never seems to be about what the woman has to invest or what she has to bring to the table. It always seems to be, okay, if we're having relationship issues, it's as a consequence of you not putting in enough effort. And you'll notice this over and over again, right? Women will sit there and they'll say, I want the man to put in more effort. I want him to do A through to Z. Okay, and that whole time she would have remained faithful up until that point. Right, but notice how when men start to put in more, that's when the infidelity begins. That's when the withdrawing begins. That's when I slept with some dude 2 weeks ago, but I'm only just telling about it now begins. All right, and this is a very common behavior. This goes to my dudes in marriages, long-term relationships, short-term relationships, all that kind of stuff, is the fact that women will badger you about changing your behavior, right, about doing all of these things for her, and the result is the same every time. You can be a guy, maybe you've watched this channel a few times, maybe you've gone through a few videos, and the theme just becomes very clear, gentlemen. You know, a lot of dudes will tell you the exact same thing, right? They'll tell you that, oh, I was in this relationship, this is how it worked out, and it really is the same pattern every time. The really insidious part about it is that you're going to be continually lied to about what the pattern actually is. You see, you're going to be told the thing that benefits other people the most, right? You're going to be told that you as a dude, you need to do all of these things. And this isn't exclusive to, this is a point that I made in the last video, right? It's not exclusive to the relationships that you have, like the romantic ones. It'll also be, you know, your mothers, your sisters and stuff like that. You ever notice how when you get into a situation, and if there's a girl who's using you for time, attention, money, or anything like that, your mother and your sister will pick up on it and they'll tell you about it. Right? The other girls in your life know what's happening because they do this exact same thing to men. They do this exact same type of behavior, so they know what the hell is going on. All right? But gentlemen, we are going to be calling today's episode there. So as always, make sure you leave your thoughts and your comments in the description box below. Has anything similar happened to you guys? Let us know in the comments. And if you disagree with anything I've said, guys, feel free to do so. That is what the comments box is for. But otherwise, gentlemen, we will be leaving today's episode there. As always, if you're interested in supporting the channel, make sure you check out the locals link in the description. The first month is totally free on me with the code Fiendish, gentlemen, so make sure you check out that link in the description. But we will be calling it there. So guys, make sure you take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you boys in the next episode. Peace.